How'd you spend today, Frank? I was pretty despondent and flat myself.
Yeah.
Um,
I was lucky enough to escape it because I had to work, but yeah, it's quite easy to fall back in the old trap and feel a bit down. It was shit house. That was some poor performance up.
look.
For the most part, it was really good. I think that's the most disappointing thing, wouldn't it?
Yeah.
For 2 3/4 quarters, we were matching it with the best in the comp or thereabouts, and doing really, really well.
Yeah. Oh, I mean, it was such an exciting first 3 quarters, wasn't it? And
yeah, it was brilliant. Had everything.
And we could see what everybody see, and then I don't know about you, but sort of from just before the final siren, about 5 minutes. Third quarter siren, about 5 minutes before that. You just sort of feel yourself deflating further and further and further, and you're just like,
and that here we go again.
Yeah,
fucking shit.
Yeah. Thanks for joining us, guys. We thought we might be up and about. And
we're flat as biscuits here. Don't worry about that. Absolutely flat.
I remember saying to you after the game, Frank, I'm not doing the show on Monday. Not doing it. I'm too depressed. No, not happening.
No, we are all going to have a big rant today.
Yep. So welcome to the Big Fat Rant Show.
Yep. There are no excuses. Just everyone jump on and have a big whinge, because that's pretty much what we're going to do for the most part.
Look, there's one thing that I've learn't in my field of work is it's not great to keep things bottled up. You got to vent. So let's have a good old vent.
So let's spew venom.
How did we let that one get away, guys? Tell us your thoughts. What happened? What went wrong? We were up and about for 3 quarters, and then
we were flying, absolutely flying.
And I'm not buying into any excuses. I'm sick to death of hearing it. Rebuilding, we're not there yet. We're not a top 4 side.
We're not good enough.
We've got injuries galore. Blah, 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 blah. I'm sick to fucking hearing it.
Yeah, absolutely.
There's no excuse for letting that one get away.
No. It literally was like they all went to sleep. Not just 1 or 2, like nearly everyone went to sleep.
Yep.
Bar 2 or 3 in the very back line.
Yeah.
That's it. Everyone on ice, including poor Jack. He definitely went on ice, poor bastard.
Oh, he did, poor bugger.
Yeah. And no, dead set. Kid can't catch a fucking break. Plays brilliant footy, does a shoulder.
Yeah.
Finally comes back after missing a month.
And has a nap.
Fucking has a non-eyes, yeah.
Yeah. Yeah, so, look, I think we watched the footy together because it was Mother's Day, so we're up and about. We had Mother's Day here. And happy Mother's Day to all the mums out there.
Yep.
Thanks for joining us. And unfortunately, we didn't get the present that we wanted, the 4 points. But as I mentioned, we were watching it together, and we were up and about, weren't we, for 3 quarters?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Absolutely. We were really getting ready to puff the chest out and swan on into Monday.
I was building up some bragging rights there, you beauty.
Yeah. Picking out your Carlton shirt to wear for work the next day. And
absolutely. And
fucking donuts.
Absolutely shit the tin.
Absolutely, yep.
So who have we got with us tonight?
There's just a couple of comments there. Evening, George.
G'day, George. Thanks for joining us, mate. We got Brett Klassen. Thanks for joining us, buddy. What the fuck happened? I'll be honest, I'm furious. Yeah, we stood up, but to die out like that, not good enough.
Yeah.
It's been too long between drinks. Yeah. Not good enough at all. I'm not buying into any excuses. I'd love someone to throw some at me and see if we'll have a crack at it, because I think we're all out of them.
Yeah, done with excuses.
Yeah. We've got Johnny on.
Early Goose nom already.
Early nomination for Goose is someone different. Triple Wallard. G'day, Rob. Thanks for joining us. Steve, g'day, buddy. Hello to all viewers. G'day, Rob. Thanks for joining us. So Brett thinks that Cripps is gone and team's coming after Harry if he's gone. I don't know. There was some rumours spreading around on the socials today that West Coast has put an offer into Cripps. Haven't heard anything. I think it's a load of shite.
Yeah, I think so. I still don't think Cripps will leave. But what I think, if he is carrying a back injury that's preventing him from playing, he needs to have a rest.
Yeah,
because
he hasn't been in his best form, and that's not.
And it's not just this game. I mean, we got to keep it into perspective as well. We're used to seeing Cripps get 30 touches a game, and 3/4 of those contested, and that number's been slowly dwindling down for the last few weeks.
Yeah.
And
look, he's been carrying a lot of weight for a long time.
Yeah.
And he's still a champion. He still gets good numbers, but he's just not at his best. So, maybe he needs a rest. Give the fella a bit of R&R. I don't know.
Yeah, but we can't keep playing him because he's only going to hurt himself more. And we're just not going to win games.
No.
At the end of the day, playing with too many injured people.
Well, that's right. Brett says, simple, we got lazy, stopped working, and laid down. Yeah.
So it's that mentality of can't someone else do it, which creeps into our game every now and then. Just, like I'm not going to do it. Geez, I can't do it. Hopefully someone else does. But when nearly every player on the field looks to their mate and says, fuck, I'm not doing it, you must be doing it. Who's doing it? No one.
You almost think that JSOS getting knocked out was a bit of a precursor for what was to come, basically having a lie down.
Yeah.
The 18 players on the field having a lie down.
I see what you did there. He went to non-eyes and everyone thought, well, fucking it's good enough for Jack to have a snooze. Yeah, I'm going too.
Who else we got with us? Jason Allen. Thanks for joining us, buddy. I'm sick of the coach bashing. Why can't this team fucking show some leadership and stop the run-on rot that continues to happen? Finger is squarely pointed at Cripps and Doc here as well.
Well, everyone's in on it. I mean, let's be honest, they're a team, so the bashing will go for everyone, I reckon.
Yeah, it's pointed at everybody.
Yeah, including the coaches, because there's been plenty of times we've looked at the coach and said, geez, has he got any positional changes that can stop the rot? Because players, will continue to play, and they're sort of wired to just keep playing. They some of them, only the real leaders will think outside that box when the coach has got to pull a trigger and move someone, do something, change something up for a rot to stop. But we get slaughtered when that rot starts. And
I agree with Jason. I'm sick of the coach bashing as well. I don't think that's where it lies. In fact, I'm sick of any of the bashing. I think we've got all the goods. I think we've got all the elements we need to be a great, successful team. We're just not stringing it together.
And for the first two and a bit quarters or whatever it was, I mean, it wasn't like the Bulldogs were playing poorly and that's why we were in the game. No, we were playing as a team, playing brilliant footy. So much so we're in front by nearly 6 goals or 5 goals or whatever it was before they started their run on. And like I said, it wasn't because they were playing poorly. They were playing really good footy.
Yeah.
We were just playing better footy.
We were better than them.
So yeah, that's 100% goes to what you're saying, Simo, that, we have all the hallmarks.
We've got all the elements we need to be successful.
Just need to string it together.
Yeah.
For 4 quarters, that is.
Hi, Pearl. Thanks for joining us. Destroyed my Mother's Day. Yep, destroyed mine too.
Absolutely. I left here, obviously, as Simone said, we did the Mother's Day thing here for our mother. And then I went home and met up with my wife after she knocked off work with her mum and did Mother's Day. And I was flat as a biscuit.
Yeah.
Went for, from one Mother's Day function to another sort of thing. And, just couldn't get up and about for a do. And just was, how was your day? It was shit house. That's how it was. It was fucked.
And put that in the shit column. I mean, seriously, I have been moping all day. Flat as a tack. Absolutely nothing. Trying to get up and about. Today I decided to try and catch up on a bit of housework, and in the end, I went, no, I need to get out of the house and get some sunshine because I'm in such a blue mood.
Yeah.
Oh, and I didn't even mean that pun. That's how rotten I was feeling. George, thanks for throwing a little bit of joy to the conversation.
Yeah, we're going to try and sprinkle some joy in there.
Yeah, because let's be fair. 3/4 of yesterday's match was absolutely brilliant.
Yeah.
And we should be having a different discussion.
A very different one.
Very different discussion. I think the fact of the matter is that we shipped the tin in the fourth and it's not good enough. And you're quite right. Eddie's first half was an absolute ripper.
Yep.
Full Eddie special at the goals.
Yeah, 100%. That's goal of the year right there. I don't think I've seen a better one so far, but there's still a long way to go.
No,
still,
and if you haven't seen it, he's been nominated for goal of the year.
So get your votes in. We did.
Go and have a look.
Yep.
Google it and put your vote in.
Get amongst it. But yeah, he wound back the clock, did he, for a good half of footy. And even he kicked another goal in the third quarter, the big one from almost outside 50. Little Eddie's legs got the journey from the pocket there. So yeah, absolute.
He did nothing wrong. And if you go and have a look at his stats, the number of touches wasn't huge, but 100% efficient.
Every time he touched
didn't
the ball.
do an absolute thing wrong.
No.
So you got to love Eddie.
Yeah, he wound back the clock.
And when you figure that my Mother's Day didn't finish up great, but at least there was Eddie.
Yeah,
Eddie Betts.
Yeah.
George. Hi guys, Coach Costas, Kerno, Cripps, Walsh, Sard on bench last quarter. Even Mackay was on the bench at one stage. Why change game plan? Yeah, look, I've seen information, and I'm not sure if it's accurate, that a good lot of our best midfielders were on the bench in the fourth.
Yeah, I mean, they have to have a rest at some point.
But still, come on.
Yeah.
The game's on the line.
I think our whoever's in charge of rotations, because that's not the senior coach. He hasn't got time to worry about rotations and who's on, who's off, how long they've been off, how long they've been on. There must be a team at the bench that concentrates on the rotations, the sports science guys or whatever. They had an absolute mare. And did fuck that up because, I mean, Cripps, I think he was off for what did we say, 8 or 9 minutes, and then went on for 25 or something. Yeah. Towards the that third quarter into the last quarter.
Yeah. I read somewhere that Sard was on the bench for 11 minutes.
Yeah.
I'm not sure which quarter. I can't recall.
I get that we've got shortened rotations and things like that, but that's just too big a chunk of time. That's how they bang on 4 goals without any resistance. In 12 minutes of footy, it's crazy.
Yeah. Oh, dear. I think we're in trouble.
Uh-oh.
I think we're in trouble.
Well, the boss is here today.
Uh-oh. Trev Wallard replying to John. My lawyer and I are watching together. G'day, Trev and his lawyer.
How you doing? Hopefully he's paying you enough.
Hey, maybe his lawyer gets Goose of the Week nomination. Rob, no excuses. When can we grow up here? Yeah, absolutely agree. Yep. It's been years now. We've been doing the whole we're in a rebuild. Yep. We're not top 4. We're not
a
top
young
8.
side.
We're a young side.
This, that, and next thing.
We got no midfielders. We got no
too many midfielders.
Yep. Back when we didn't have Harry and company, we had Casbolt.
Yep.
And everyone was up and about going, oh, we've got no forwards. Now we've got forwards galore.
Yep.
And we've got a fella who's top of the Coleman tally mind, and we're still shitting the tin. There is absolutely no excuse.
Yeah. A1 midfield, let's be honest. Cripps, Walsh, Kerno, Williams should be in that class, but he's not yet so far.
Yeah.
And a rock solid backline. For the love of God, how come this isn't working?
Yeah. Yeah.
Go on.
No, you go.
I was going to say, without the backline, we're losing that game by 15 goals. Straight up, I'm going to put that out there.
How good was Wieders?
Wiedering superstar.
He's an absolute star, that fella.
Jones wasn't on his best behaviour, but he did some good things. Doc had 1,001,001 touches with 1,001,001 metres gained. Sard didn't have a great one, but still, without without the back line, we're losing that game by 15 goals.
Yeah. And I remember I said to you at one stage during the game that we've got a back line like the Berlin Wall. And I absolutely put my hand on heart and stick with that statement. I think we lost the game in the middle.
Yep.
Does anyone disagree? Where did things go wrong?
Where did it go wrong? I mean, I feel like it was in the midfield mainly that it just fell apart late in that third quarter. Because Harry was kicking big goals in the third quarter, and Eddie Betts was first half, and then one or two in the third. The defenders were doing as best they could.
Yeah,
it was all in the midfield, I reckon.
Yeah, absolutely. So, where are we? Okay.
Yeah.
We shouldn't be playing injured players. Cripps, Levi, and Williams. Absolutely agree.
Yep.
If they're injured, Levi in particular. It was news to me today, reading on the socials that apparently he's carrying an injury.
I had heard earlier on in the year that he was playing with a niggle.
Yeah.
But I didn't think it was as bad as getting it drained and taking painkillers and stuff like that. Which, let's be honest, he shouldn't be playing if that's the case. I mean. His form isn't great, and again, we're no excuses. So once you cross that line, you're fit, irrelevant. I don't want to hear, shit about he had a shit game because he's injured. Well, then he shouldn't have played.
No, he shouldn't be there. Backup ruckman or no backup ruckman.
Yeah, exactly.
Throw a ball-hungry kid in there to do the job instead. It can't be any worse.
Yeah.
When you look at his averages throughout the year so far, well, yesterday he had 11 touches at 36% efficiency.
Yeah.
But his averages over the year is 8 disposals. It actually should be disposables because half of them he turns over.
Yeah.
And that's his weekly averages.
Yeah. But some of these things, they're not skill things either, though, or injury things. I mean, there was one instance in the first quarter where he took a mark or got a free kick or something about 55, about 50 out. So he would have been kicking from about 55, which you make the distance easily. And then he tried to pick off a 30-metre short pass to a small bloke on more of a tighter angle in the pocket.
Yeah.
And I said, what the fuck are you doing? What the fuck are you doing? You're easily kicking 55. He's got more chance of kicking a goal from 55 than hitting a small player 30 metres away who is then in a tighter angle anyway. So that's just a shit decision that's just made.
And maybe he made that decision because maybe he is injured. All the more reason. Get him off. Get him right.
Yeah. Give him a couple of weeks off.
Give a ball-hungry kid an absolute go at it. And I couldn't reckon that...
You couldn't reckon? Or you don't reckon?
Well, no, it couldn't be... Rantfest. It couldn't be worse. It couldn't be worse.
Nah, it couldn't. There's no way it could be worse.
I don't care if
that was shit house.
If he's short, have a crack, have a jump.
Yeah.
Have a go at it.
But I mean, I've said in the past, I mean, we can use someone like Plowman or somebody else to be a backup ruckman for 10% of the game because Levi offers us nothing at the moment, injured or not. He's just offering us zero. He's I saw one of his stats. He's had, I think, 59 total possessions for the year, and 29 have been direct clangers.
Yeah.
So literally, nearly half of every possession is turned straight over.
Derp.
Yeah.
And look, to be honest, I was pleased to hear that maybe his form is due to injury as opposed to being cooked. But if he is injured, go and get him right.
Yeah.
Because there was a lot of things he did that cost us.
He was a liability out there for the most part.
And Cripps, if he's pulling up sore or something like that, get him out. Give him a rest. And give some of the young kids a go. Yeah. And what about Williams? He's a little bit overpaid at the moment, isn't he?
He certainly is. He injured himself. He soreness, I think, was what they said. I didn't actually hear an injury that happened. He was just sore. But there's been stories in the media that he is quite susceptible to injuries and soreness. So yeah, definitely overpaid, but here's another one that just if you saw, you just have to rest them. Yeah, at the end of the day, if they're going to end up getting small amounts of touches, and when they do turn it over, there's just no point.
Yeah. So g'day, Dave. Thanks for joining us. On a positive, Big H is leading the Coleman. Absolutely.
Yeah. There we are.
Yeah. Look,
something positive now.
Yeah. He is an absolute superstar. And we were watching how many his Tex on. Oh, there he goes. He's gone past him. Beauty.
Because Tex had a mare, so he didn't kick any goals, I think. I don't think so.
Yeah.
But what we need to do is just hand over a blank check to Harry's management and say, you just write the number you want
however
on there.
Many zeros you want.
For how many years. Just slide that back, and then we'll just be done with that conversation, I think, is how that should go moving forward, because he is a superstar, a genuine, big marking, sideways snapping superstar for mine.
Yeah, no,
sign him up
Harry.
Immediately, get the job done.
Yeah. Walsh is awesome. Yes, he's, doing all. He was a little bit quieter than usual. However, he was still bloody brilliant.
He was, yeah.
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 And Weeders was the Rock of Gibraltar. Absolutely agree. Nothing was getting. He gave
your man Norton.
He gave Norton from Rocco an absolute bath. Didn't he?
Yeah.
Yeah.
That was good. It was good. He ended up with 2 goals, I think, in the end. It's a couple of junk time shit goals, but he had his pants pulled down and his bare bottom smacked.
It was
how
fantastic.
That went.
Yeah. So for those of you that don't live in WA, there's a junior club up the road called Rockingham Rams, and that's where Norton comes from.
Mm.
He played 7 senior games at Peel, and interestingly, he was a key defender.
Was he?
Yeah.
Wow.
So there you go. There's a bit of
probably shit house at that. So they thought,
trivial bullshit.
Yeah, put you in the forward line and
have a crack.
And look, he goes all right. I mean, he's a strange fucker, but yeah, he's done well, and he had the ability to tear us a new one, but we had Weeders, and
Weeders kept him quiet.
Put a big
no. Here's a blanket. You stay there and be quiet.
Absolutely, like fucking the 300. I shall not pass.
So that leads us into Rude Lid quite comfortably, I reckon.
It certainly does.
All right. So those of you that haven't joined us before, we do this thing called Rude Lid every week.
Yep. Pick some random ugly pricks. Obviously, and takes one to know one, so we're good at picking ugly ones.
So anyway, I'm going to throw up the graphic.
Yep.
And you guys tell us who you reckon
get your votes in
gets the Rude Lid for this week. There we go. So naturally, we've got Norton from Rocco.
Yeah.
He gets a nomination. And he's wearing the proper Rocco attire there.
The rudest mullet.
With the mullet. And we've got Josh Bruce. He's a good-looking rooster as well as old Libber.
I tell you what, we tried to get a better photo of Bruce, because how was his get up for the game? His hairstyle there, half up, half down, man bun. At what point does a good mate of yours go, what the fuck are you doing, mate? Turning up to a game of football with a half up, half down man bun.
Yeah, look. So
it's a close one.
We'd love to hear your votes, guys. Who gets Rude Lid? I think it's
Mario. It's me, Mario.
Me, Mario.
Well, I'm voting Norton, because he's a very ugly man.
Yeah, look, Norton for mine, I would think.
Yeah. Keep the votes coming. We'll tally him up soon. But
yeah, purely because he's from Rocco.
Yeah.
And he's wearing the proper attire.
A good mate of mine's family friends with him as well, so I'm gonna link this video to him, and hopefully it gets back to him.
So Dave reckons Libber rude tats. He's got some weird tats going on. What's going on there?
He's got Homer Simpson and the greasy Krusty Burger Worker tattooed on his biceps. He's got some other rude tats as well, but so was Bruce. I mean,
what was that shit he had on his legs?
He had a weird upside down moon or fucking.
He had girl tats on his legs.
Some weird shit.
The sort of thing that 18-year-old girls go and get.
Yeah, when they've just started going out with a dude who's got a tattoo gun in his garage, like fucking terrible. Absolutely.
Good stuff. So at Neck Minute, g'day Neck Minute. Thanks for joining us.
Neck Minute.
Loose Goose Bruce for sure.
That's not one of Kevin Doherty's new aliases, is it?
Oh, it could be. I don't think any of them got in the slammer on the weekend. So
he's been a good boy. He's been a good boy. He after he got his Goose Award last week, he went and he's on good behaviour. So.
All right. So who do you reckon, Frank? I reckon Norton for mine.
Yeah, I'm going to stick with Norton. Local Rocco boy. Yep. Yeah.
Look, when we're in WA, do as WA does and pick on the local footy bloke. All right. So. Get that bit of fun out the way. Yeah. So anyway,
back to the rants.
Yeah.
Or some positive stuff if you've got it.
Yeah.
By all means.
Yeah, we're just here to have a good old rant.
Yeah, we've touched on a couple of some positive things that Eddie Betts' goal. We actually haven't touched on Eddie Betts' goal. We've touched on the amount of goals he's kicked, but that first goal he kicked, that sort of tap over the top to himself and the flying scissor kick. Yeah, fantastic.
Carlton's gameplay strategy equals Homer's sanitation strategy. All right. And George reckons if Cripps is injured, where is the duty of care by the club? Completely agree. And the same goes for the likes of Levi.
I was actually going to mention that earlier when we were talking about it, but I couldn't think of the terminology, the duty of care. It's all right. I'm not going to say anything in case I fuck it up, but well done, George. That's what I was trying to say earlier, but
yeah. Where is the duty of care? You know, you've got 100%. A bunch of kids that would love to have a run.
Yeah.
And you know, we'd much rather, you know, give some of our champions a rest so that they can come back better than, you know, just putting their bodies through absolute hell.
Yeah.
Week in, week out for no good reason.
Yeah.
Nick Minute also reckons we are playing too many players out of position. Yes. We were talking about this earlier, weren't we? And
yeah, we were, but I mean, I'm gonna go ahead and slide that into the excuses category for this week because we start off the top, no excuses. But
yeah, true.
I mean, these are professional footballers. I mean, you can't tell me that there's only one position you can play, and if you're not playing in that position, you're absolutely no value to the team whatsoever. I mean, I can't cop that too much. I mean, a couple of times, I mean, I've even said it myself in the past. We wanted SBS up the ground. We wanted Setterfield as an inside midfielder. But there comes a time where you have to go, you know what, just it's a game of football, man. Just fucking mark ball, kick ball to somebody with the same jumper as you.
Football, kick it.
Yeah. Will you teach me to football?
You teach me to football. But Trev's right too. Teague didn't react to change the run they had. You know, there was when they started to get away with it, we just didn't do anything to change things.
No, and I don't know whether the players themselves think like the supporters and they start sinking down and fucking here we go again.
Yeah.
And then they don't react and they wait for somebody to spark up and do something. But but you know, it's a whole of club mentality, of course, you know.
And maybe that's part of you know, the no excuses thing. Is that what it is? We're making so many excuses.
Yeah.
I mean, week in, week out, we're hearing the same thing from Teague at his presser.
Yeah.
You know, like...
Yeah, it comes out and says we're not good enough.
Well, no
shit, mate. We watched the same game you fucking did. Of course we're not good enough.
Actually, we were good enough for 3 quarters. We just need to fucking be good enough for 4.
Yeah, seriously.
It's not that friggin' hard.
Apparently it is.
No.
Apparently it is.
Jones is great when he can run off players, but one-on-one Jones ain't up to par. My boy Jones.
Your boyfriend Jones.
My boy Jones.
That comment's not totally inaccurate. I mean, I love Jonesy as well, so I want to say, nah, that's a shit call. But it kind of is. I mean, we sort of touched on it earlier before we started the show that, you know, when Jones is at his best, he is running off, he's moving up the ground to try and, you know, nab those intercept marks and those big plays and stuff like that. But when a team's got, you know, big dual key forwards like a Norton and a man bun Bruce, they've got to be accountable. So again, he didn't do a terrible job. I think a lot of Bruce's goals came from bit of transition where they were transitioning between defenders and forwards, miscommunications and things like that. But I feel like for when they were directly one-on-one, Jones did well enough. But yeah, Jones is definitely at his best when he's up the ground trying to make play by intercepting marks and things like that. Yeah,
that's certainly where we see him at his best. Is when that's right when he's up the ground intercepting and sending it the other way. We need Crocker in the mid-season draft.
Look, I want Crocker as much as the next bloke, but I just don't know. I mean, yeah, he'd be great. I don't know. People are saying that is he up to it? He's been at 2 AFL clubs and not managed to make a proper fist of it. Now he's back again at a VFL side and trying to get back in. But you know, whether you take a punt, I mean, he's playing exceptional football.
Yeah,
don't worry about that. I haven't seen the leading goal kicker for the VFL.
But that doesn't necessarily mean he's up to AFL standard either.
No, it doesn't. No, it doesn't. I mean,
you can be a champion in the twos, and then absolutely have a crap day.
Like your English, bro. You've been off the ball, haven't you?
Well, you know. I've spent
you are right though.
I've spent a day in a corner, curled up in a ball, crying because no.
You nearly made me feel sorry for you there.
Oh, it nearly worked.
No, it fucking didn't.
Trev, thank you to Sam Walsh's mother. Yep. And happy Mother's Day to Sam Walsh's mother.
Yeah.
And
she did a great job there.
Yeah.
And Harry's mum too.
Harry's mum, and you know, pretty much all
and
of
our
their
mums.
Our mum is getting a nomination for Goose.
Yeah, we'll get to Goose a little bit later, but stay tuned. Yeah.
If you haven't watched us before, we have a thing where we do a Goose of the Week where we someone gets a shitty award, which no one actually gets, but we'll make something up.
Yeah.
For being a bit of a goose.
Yeah, doing something stupid. Saying something stupid. Yeah, generally being a goose. So
yeah. Brett Klassen says we have talent, but why are we switching off and not going on with it? Absolutely agree. Like, we've got all the ingredients. We've got all of it. We've got the whole lot.
Yeah.
There's not. What are we missing? Look, can anyone tell me what we're missing?
We've got good depth. Certain parts of the ground we don't have great depth, like in the forward line, which is maybe where a Crocker comes in handy because we're down on forwards at the moment. We've really just got Omax injured. Owies.
Martin. Owies had an absolute ripper.
Someone did put in the comments there. Owies for a little gun, absolute superstar.
Yeah.
Had another good. He did sort of I won't say go missing, but you know,
he went quiet in the second half.
He did go a little bit quiet, but he wasn't an orphan in that side. But
no. In the first half, he was earning his Guernsey. Yeah. Absolutely.
But for big forwards, at the moment we are lacking depth, so you know that's one area. I think the back line as well. If we lost Wiedering to injury or Jones,
would feel that. Yeah,
would feel that. So maybe there is some areas with that you know. We haven't got, but other than that, we've got it all.
Yeah, we've got the lot.
Yeah, just except for the wins, really, and the 4-quarter efforts.
We haven't got the lot because we haven't got the 4 points.
Yeah.
That dude needs to go away.
What's that one? Bombers are way better than Carlton. How do these guys sneak in? Up the Bombers. What is this?
Do you know what? Let's just put him out there.
Yeah.
So, g'day, whoever you are. We're just making it known that we know you're there. Off you go. See ya.
Tell your story walking, pal.
Yeah. Tell your story walking, you dickhead. Fuck off.
Yeah.
Nick Minute, surely TDK, Honey and Newman get a run. I don't know if TDK's ready.
Yeah, I'm shitting myself that they throw in TDK
too early.
Yeah. I mean, I just
I think the same duty of care to that we're talking about in terms of playing injured players. We have to have that same duty of care to incoming
players off long injury lists and things like that.
Yeah, we can't just throw them in because we're desperate. To be honest, you know, and I think this comes about because Levi needs a rest. He needs to go. He needs to get out.
He's directly to jail. Do not pass go.
Don't collect $200. Just go. But I would much rather see him see a fit kid go in that is ball hungry and just wants the footy and just have a crack, because that would be the best outcome for everybody, I think, in terms of long-term well-being.
Because I think the step up normally, for all things being equal, between VFL and AFL is a massive step.
Yeah.
And when you're coming off one game of really monitored or limited minutes, and then another game, which from some reports wasn't as good. Apparently his game against the Footscray VFL side wasn't as good. I didn't see. I saw very small amounts of it. But, yeah, the last thing you want to do is chuck him in. He's a bit underdone and he does a soft tissue injury or something like that. So, yeah, I don't know if throwing TDK in is the way to go just yet. But
and what about Honey and Newman?
I love Honey. He's going to be a straight swap for JSOS, I think, personally. Being a forward, that's just a straight swap. Levi's out for mine.
Yeah, Levi has to have a rest. We cannot. I mean, look, I'm not being a Levi basher. Please, by no means think that's what's going on here. But every time he's got the footy, I'm literally going, please don't touch the ball. Please stay away from the freaking ball.
Yeah.
And when you've got that kind of feeling, it's time to have a rest.
It is, yeah.
George says, why are we recruiting mids to play back and backs to play mid? Yeah.
It's like some weird rite of passage where if you're a midfielder and you have a really good game in the midfield in the twos, and you do get a game at AFL level, you then get shafted to a back pocket. What the fuck is that? Like, I mean, that was Stocker for the last 2 games or so.
Are we getting too many midfielders coming through? Like, is that the problem? We've got so much depth.
I don't think you can ever have too many midfielders, but yeah, maybe there is a little bit.
Yeah, that's where we lost the game.
Yeah.
So we lose the game in the mid. We've got so much depth in the midfield.
In midfield.
I just don't get it. I don't know what's going on.
No, none of it makes any sense whatsoever.
Hi, Sharon. Thanks for joining us. If you couldn't watch it, go back and listen to On the Couch. Listen to the experts actually show players at fault on the ground in the last quarter. It was interesting to see. Now, not when caught up in the motion of the game. Okay, great stuff. I'll have a look.
Was that On the Couch?
On the Couch, yeah. All right. I'd love to hear, if anyone watched it, what sorts of things were they pointing out of how we lost the game.
You can even disguise it as stuff that you saw. You don't even have to give the credit to On the Couch guys. Just say, I noticed so-and-so did this and that.
Yeah. Jason Allen, they give me anxiety for days. Yeah, absolutely. I was thinking today, like, how do I describe how everybody's reacting to what happened yesterday? And I wanted to put it in the 7 stages of grief in terms of how people respond to a loss like that in varying ways. So you get some people that, you know, they're still in denial, and they want to have that whole, but we're not quite a top 8 side, and we're this and we're that, and then you get others that are angry, and like my son put his fist through his door.
First nomination.
And you know, and you've got some people that you know, they can see the good signs, like we did in the 3 quarters, and they've still got that glimmer of hope to think, oh, we lost 1 quarter, which lost us the game, but it's all there. And yeah, so I think we all as supporters need to realise that what unfolded in front of us caused a lot of angst and anxiety and grief for everybody. And we're all, for mine, there's no more excuses.
No. Councillor Simone.
Sorry for that, but it counts. Well, this is a support group. We're all a bit pissed off.
Yeah.
Cunners has looked good the last 2 weeks, hasn't he?
He certainly has.
Yes.
Trev, I mean, George, he's been... Is your lawyer still watching, Trev? Hopefully not. No, Georgie, absolutely, yeah. I love the way Cunners has gone about it. We give Trev a bit of stick, but I was in the same boat. So he was probably fair on the outer for mine as well, but he's come in and gone bang, bang. And, absolutely refreshing to see him play some really good footy.
Yeah.
Really, really happy for him because he's always been talented. We all know he's been talented. He's been talented, since we picked him up, but just hasn't really equated to solid games in the ones, but they're coming now, which is good.
Brett says middle was destroyed, to be honest. Yeah, absolutely was.
Yep.
I don't even know what else to say about the middle. I think that's where we lost the game.
Yeah, it definitely was. I mean, there was... And again, it's hard to pinpoint, right? Because while Walsh didn't have the superstar game that we're used to, he still had it 20-odd times. But every time he got it, you saw the vein in his neck because he was trying to squeeze a ball out of somewhere and dish it off to somebody else. And he was trying, and even Cripps, he was in there trying to pull a ball out and spin around and hand pass it over the top. There was sort of a desire there. Cunners was running past with dash and skill. Yeah, I can't put my finger on it, but it was all in the middle of the ground.
Yeah,
in the middle of the ground. Forwards did their bit. Defenders did their bit.
We need to stop having passengers, says Anastasia. I completely agree, and I think it also leans to the conversation we were having earlier about not playing injured players. We absolutely...
Because they are passengers.
Yeah, and not in the bad sense. I mean...
No, it's because they're injured.
They're carrying something that's not right. So they absolutely, and they become passengers. I don't know if anybody had a really bad game per se.
Levi did.
Oh, apart from Levi, yeah.
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 Don't know if we're seeing a lot from Gibbo at the moment. Nunes is another one. I don't know whether he did enough, but not enough to. I don't know if we're going to axe them all, but yeah, it's definitely to see some improvements from those last couple of fellas.
Bring in Honey next week, says Brett.
Yeah,
where we going?
Where you were, yeah, Trev there. Gibbons would be a better backup ruckman. Don't know when that came through, but that's 100% the truth. Guy's 4 foot, fuck all. He's 100% gonna be better as a backup ruckman than Levi at the moment because injured or not, I mean you can't jump with knees, so we
Williams has to go back to defence. What do you think about that?
Nah. He played. I think he played in the defence for most of the game just before. Look, I don't know. I think he's an outside midfielder. I don't know if it's on a wing or what, but he needs to use his run and ball disposal.
My dog's barking. I have to run. Can you just do that?
Yeah.
I'll go and shut him up.
Okay. Yeah. Neck minute again. Always was very good. He's got such a good kicking action. There's something about that guy. He's got such a technical kick. He's rarely going to miss. He's rarely going to miss set shots, things like that. Nice technique about him. So, yeah, that was just good. I think Simone has missed half of these comments, so I want to try and pick up some as I go down. Got Steve Andrew. Cuz, how you doing? We knew we were playing the best midfield with 6 elite mids and didn't bring in the best player in the twos in the last 2 weeks, Setterfield. Yep, who can actually get a clearance. They were always going to run us over. Yeah. Yeah, I think Setterfield's really done as an inside midfielder, which is what we've been saying. Get him off a wing, get him on the inside, and he's been doing that in the twos. I don't know. We needed to get him in. I feel like dropping Dow was also a mistake. If he was injured, sure, but then to play in the twos, he was omitted. So I feel like in the first half an hour he played against the Scum the week before, he absolutely tore it a new one. So dropping that sort of a midfielder and as Steve said there. Not bringing in the best in the twos was definitely a mistake. But yeah, one that we keep making time and time again, I think, Simo, because Steve is just saying that, he's onto it. Bulldogs have got an elite midfield, and we didn't bring in Setterfield, who is, tearing up the twos as a midfielder. So I was just saying, it's a good call, but it's a mistake that we seem to be making constantly with selecting players or non-selecting players when they are.
And I think that also feeds to the conversation about passengers as well. Like, we've got a perfectly good midfielder there.
Who's played really good in the twos.
Could have made a real difference. But yet we're carrying injured players. Sorry about that. Oscar was barking at something out the front.
All good. I scrolled up because there was quite a lot of comments, but then I realised I've gone back quite a way. So sort yourself out, mate.
George says Teague's presser sounds scripted.
I didn't even listen to it.
No, look, I started and I thought, oh my God, the same rhetoric again.
Not interested in we're not good enough, so that's just it.
If you notice, he doesn't directly answer the question at hand. Bolts did the same. Look, I'm not going at Teague with pitchforks.
No.
I think, and George, you've made this comment a couple of times, and you're quite right. I think where the problem is in between the ears of the players. And this is why I'm thinking we need to stop with the excuses.
Yeah, we definitely do. And look, behind closed doors, I'm sure the players are being held to account. I feel like coaches, they have to be held accountable in a more public arena, be it press conferences or opinion pieces or shows like us on Facebook. And someone said earlier, Teague, it might have been Trev, before he went to go talk to his lawyer again. Just slow to make.
You reckon it'll be much more well?
Hopefully his lawyer's much more well. No, we're just slow to make in-game changes. So there is some accountability on Teague's part. Not that we're bashing him, but yeah, it is a good point.
And Jason says, too many slaps on the back and ass when mistakes are made from our boys. Where's the old-fashioned sprays for being shit?
Yeah.
Fuck, time to barrel each other and make each other accountable. Absolutely agree.
Yeah, what's the new generation they call? Is it Gen Z or whatever it is?
I'm sure they've run out of letters.
Everyone's soft and offended by everything, and you've got to cuddle them instead of give them a spray. So, yeah, I reckon that's half the issue. But, no, definitely big double-barrel spray, get the jugular vein coming out.
Spittles going out.
Yeah, definitely.
If the boys aren't wearing it literally on their faces, then it's not enough of a spray.
Yeah.
Why was Saad off for so long in the fourth quarter, Francesco? Yeah, why? What?
Yeah.
What's going on?
100%. As we said, as I said, I reckon it's down to an issue there at the bench with the team who looks after rotations. I think they just absolutely shat the tin on that somehow, because he shouldn't have been off for so long.
And Luke Parks is a gun. He had a blinder. He had an absolute ripper day.
He doesn't accumulate a million touches, but he goes in hard at every contest. He doesn't duck his head. He takes good marks. He makes good tackles. He's a hard nut. I mean, they said on Trev and JR's show last week that Tip and Woody's still trying to dig himself out of that hole that Parks put him in. I reckon he's still probably just covered him over and said, we've got a game to play this weekend, so you stay there for another week. But absolutely hard as nails. I love the kid.
Yeah.
And Stocker as well. Georgie goes on to say, love Parks, Stocker, hard at it. Yeah, I think Stocker's doing really well. He's been, shoehorned into a back pocket, so definitely not ideal. But he's as I said, he's still going to play a game of football and make the most of it. So definitely.
Yeah. So listen, who would be your best on, Frank?
Weeders.
Yeah. Weeders gets 3 for mine.
Yeah, I think we're going to be the same. Well, you
pretty close.
I've got Betts for 2 votes because it was hard for me not to give Betts 3. But yeah.
Yeah. Look, for mine, Weeders gets 3, and look at. To be honest, Betts was getting 2. Where I got stuck was between Kerno and Harry. And Betts. Betts is up there. But I think.
Are you naming like 8?
No, I'm not. I'm not. So all right. So Weeders gets 3.
Yep.
Betts gets 2.
Right.
But I'm a bit stuck between Harry and Kerno, because Harry, yes, he's hit the top of the Coleman tally, and do you know what? Harry gets 1.
Harry 100% gets 1. It's a no-brainer.
Kerno is an absolute workhorse, and he's always under the radar, and I hate that. Yep. And a little bit like Doxler this week as well. He was a workhorse. He'd done a lot of things, but he's just under the radar. And in fact, people are going for him. People want to sack him. People want to take co-captaincy off him. And you're like, you're watching the same dude as me.
Yeah, I don't think they are.
In fact, I saw people wanting to ditch Betts. We've all been part of that conversation before when he hasn't done much.
Yeah.
But after yesterday's game, I think they're on some serious drugs.
Yeah, he just picks himself for the rest of the year now, I reckon. I like that one.
I thought that one was up.
You didn't read it out.
Oh, Dave. Love the Western Bar. Makes Blue Abroad look like... Oh, okay. I don't really want to get into that.
Still a nice comment, though. Thanks, mate.
Thanks, David. I appreciate that.
Yeah, definitely.
Look, that's, that's a great show as well. But I think ours is better.
Oh, it's a no-brainer.
Hey, I love this idea, Nick Minute. Yeah, you're the king of comments for today.
Bringing Dave Hughes for a spray.
Yes. Husey. I'm sure the boys will get it done just because his voice is annoying. Who else could you get in for a spray? Because someone needs to give it to him.
Oh, it needs to be Big John Elliott. Pig's ass.
Pig's ass. You don't play 3 quarters, you pay 4. Pig's ass. Brett's in line with me, with you, I think, too.
Yeah.
Yep.
We're all watching the same game, I think, there, Brett.
Yeah, we all saw who was up about.
Up about? Up and about?
Up and about.
Up and about.
Up and at them. All right, so here are our ins and outs. Out, Casbolt, Levi, bye-bye. Go and have yourself a rest. Go and get right. Come back. We'll see you again soon.
Or don't come back. Whatever.
Whatever's going.
Yeah, I don't mind.
Look, if he can get right and he does some good stuff, fine. But if he's injured, out. Go.
Gone. Yeah.
Get someone else in there that can make a difference to what's happening.
Yep. JSOS, definitely sleeping beauty.
He's having a nap.
He's having a nap for 12 days minimum.
Yep.
And then see where that's at.
Mm-hmm.
And look, I don't know if I'm going to make any more changes. Maybe Nunes, maybe Gibbo. Gibbo, I think, probably stays. Nunes has got to have a bit of a rest, I think.
Yeah.
And Setterfield in for mine.
Yeah.
Honey. And look, because of the midfield thing, and we've got Melbourne, Petrarca, Brayshaw, a couple of other mids. I don't know whether we do go with the midfield heavy side and just have, as someone said, Gibb as the backup ruckman. I don't know. But yeah, definitely. I don't know. TDK is probably another week away from mine.
Yeah. Brett says Levi out, Williams out, Nunes out. Yeah, actually, my only difference was, aside from Nunes, because he wasn't that bad, Gibbons. I think Gibbons needs a spell.
Yep.
Although it would really depend on who we've got in the forwards to go in.
For Gibb. Well, Honey coming in, but I'm sort of replacing. The way I see it is JSOS is out, obviously having a snooze. Honey comes in as a straight swap. So if Gibb goes out, then maybe Paddy Dow can be off a half forward flank or something, or somebody else.
Who would we like to see in for Levi? Because we all know that we don't have too many other options as a backup ruck.
I can't even cop the backup ruck thing anymore. I mean,
no,
I don't know what team we played a few weeks ago. I think it was the Gold Coast. They had no ruckman. They had 2 backup ruckmen rucking the whole day and got as many clearances as we did.
Yeah,
you know what I mean. So there's no need to have another big lumbering donkey in there doing fuck all just to try and take 10% of the ruck for Pitnet to have a rest. I mean, there's just no need for that. Just Plowman can do it. Just somebody who's 6'2" or taller can just run and jump at the balls. Yes, literally, it's not hard.
Just give someone else a go.
Yeah.
Because when you've got a dude that's got an average of 8 touches and half of them are
directly turned over.
You just give anyone else a go.
Yeah.
Absolutely. So who now? Levi out for inanimate
carbon rod. I think that's a Simpsons reference.
Is it?
Yeah.
Okay, he keeps doing these things. And I need crayons, John. Help me out here.
That's very
Spell
good.
it out.
Do
some pictures.
Yeah.
He's definitely maybe.
What's he doing? Definitely, maybe.
Maybe he needs.
Possibly. Hopefully, I don't know.
Go in the next installment of Shrek as
or Shrek.
Far out.
Yeah.
I mean, look, every time he's got the ball, I'm like, oh, don't touch it. I mean, so you basically got 17 players.
Yeah.
That's not great.
Who else?
David says, opinion on Murphy. Look, he's a superstar. He's a champion, but we haven't missed him.
We haven't.
Although, could he have done a better job than Gibbons?
We didn't miss him against the Scum. Definitely not.
No.
But could he have done a better job than Gibbons? Could he come in for JSOF? It's definitely worth a look. I mean, he probably will. Because my gut feeling is the club will baby him to 300, which I don't think is the right thing to do, but is what it is.
Yeah.
He's going to go down as a club champion anyway. He's going to go down as an all-time great of the club anyway.
Yeah.
He doesn't have to, be gifted 9 games to get to 300 just to.
And to be honest, if I was him and they wanted to carry me to my 300 by being medical sub or some shit like that,
I wouldn't be interested.
No, because if you didn't get to play, you wouldn't want that in your record as part of your 300.
Yep.
That's.
It'll always be a sort of like
right.
a hidden asterisk on your 300 as well, though. Wherever it'll be Murphy 300, but 9 games as medical sub or something stupid like that.
Yeah.
That's not how it's going.
Neck Minute. I'd love to know who Neck Minute is.
He's onto it.
Out Silvani, Levi, Gibbons.
Yeah, he's with you.
Honey,
Newman,
and Durden.
I like that. Apparently, Durden tore up the 2s.
Yeah.
I didn't see it, or I only briefly watched a couple of bits of it, but I heard on different media outlets and stuff that he did have a good game, and he has had a good body of work. It's not the first time I've heard his name in the best ons group for the 2. So yep.
George says, who picks up Tom McDonald this week?
Tom McDonald, I think, is the forward.
Okay.
He's been kicking big goals at the D's, so it has to be Wiedering for
Absolutely.
mine. Yep.
Yeah.
He's the Spartan warrior that does not let you pass, so Wieders goes to him.
Okay. Mitch. G'day, Mitch. I don't think we've had a comment from you yet.
No,
so
welcome.
Thanks for joining us.
I can't read that.
If Clarkson is gettable like it's being reported, is it worth asking the question? His legacy of leading back the mighty Carlton to success would appeal to him, and he will have hopefully a similar young forward line of Mackay and Kerno like he did with, I can't read the rest of it. Stop.
No, yeah, no.
I'm not really driving this very well, am I?
You're actually not at all. And then give it the old, my dog's barking, so.
And he will hopefully have a similar young forward line of Mackay and Kerno like he did with Franklin and Roughhead.
I don't want to see us move David Teague on because I don't think he deserves to be moved on. And I don't want us to go down the same mistake that we made when we got in.
And look, good conversation to have because it's a valid point, and as David has mentioned, Pagan failed, Malthouse failed, Clarkson probably next one to fail. I think we've got to stop just going, right, coach, you're out. You're the problem, because I'm not buying it. Yeah, there's probably some things he could do better.
He's got to get, but I think one of the things of a coach, and not that I'm a qualified coach in any way, but
what really
is they've got to get the players to buy into their program.
Yeah,
and if the players aren't buying in, then that's when a club goes, well, the players aren't buying in, mate. Out you go. I don't think that's the case. I think the players are buying in. There's just something that needs to be uncovered because we do have issues.
Now, John. Trev equals Roughhead. Now, you do know that Trev's got his lawyers watching this. All right. What are your thoughts on two captains? Should we go back to one? I actually think so.
I do. Yeah.
I think when you've got two leaders, it's hard to know what the actual direction is or what we're supposed to be listening to here.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think that's a good call.
Mm-hmm. Definitely get rid of the two co-captain jobby. Yep. One's good.
Yeah. And look, I wouldn't like to pick who gets it. A lot of people have been saying that Cripps needs to be dropped as captain. I don't agree with that.
Not for mine.
I think he is still the captain. And there's been a lot of chatter about giving the leadership to Walsh. Not in a million years, not yet.
Not yet.
Maybe in a million years when he's still, getting 40 touches. But not yet. Yeah, I think let the young fella do what he does well.
Yeah.
Without any pressure.
Cripper. Here we go. I've been hanging out with you for too long. Cripper has handled it pretty well over a long period of time. When you look at the years that Doc was out with his knees, when we were playing worse football, Cripper was handling, being the captain, plus playing exceptional football. Okay, right now he's not, whether that's injury or what, but still he's got plenty of experience and has done a great job. So
yeah, and look, I think the fact that Doc's had 2 years off with injury, granted, not his fault.
No.
Maybe the pressure taken off him gives him an opportunity to get right back to where he was. Not that he's not getting there, but do you know what I mean? All right, so Mitch Joseph, well said on your points. I just want to see more passion from Teague. Show some anger in the coach's box or in a press conference. May get scrutinised, but I'll show that hunger to succeed. Absolutely. Like, we need to see him losing his absolute shit in the box.
Smashing a phone on the thing.
And look, I take my hat off to someone who can keep their cool. But I think
even like Brendan Bolton, like even you saw him get the shits. He put his hand over his mouth and and you'd see him ranting and raving under his hand there, but he still showed it. Whereas, you know, we're almost got no emotion at all from Teague. So yeah, I don't know whether if and look, at the end of the day, if it's not in his personality, then you know, he can't force it. But I would love to just see him tear out a new one.
Yeah. I don't think Teague knows who the leader is. That's actually possibly a good point. You know, with the whole co-captaincy thing, like,
who's ruling the roost here?
Who's ruling the roost? Who? Yeah. Brett thinks that we should give it to Harry. He's performing. So yeah, perhaps. No,
I don't know. I don't know about that.
Just let him.
I like Cripper as captain because he leads from the front. He does endeavour to dig us out of holes. He always has.
Yeah.
So I'm happy to just leave that there.
Yeah. Look, keep Cripper as the captain for mine.
Yeah.
He does a great job. And I think, you know, any other suggestions in terms of Walsh and Harry, maybe a bit too early for them.
Yep.
Okay, so
got some goose action.
We got some goose action.
Yeah.
There's quite a few gooses again.
What have you got?
Well, let's ask the people that have joined us. Is there anyone that you've seen around the socials, or your best friends, or your family members?
Yep.
That gets
someone in the media
gets a goose nomination? Throw them at us.
So, you know, it's getting late. Neither of us can string fucking 4 words together.
So anyway, I'll tell you, Carlton Football Club has to get a goose nomination. Has to be done. How long have we been doing this now? How many rounds?
8.
8, yeah. So we're still in preschool compared to Trev and JR. But the Carlton Football Club for mine, because they just need to play 4 quarters. Has to be said.
Yeah.
And I think the fact of the matter is we had such brilliant 3 quarters, and
just no.
Look, I don't think I've mentioned that hurt more than the 99 grand final because of where we've been for so long. And to see us taking it to a top 4 side and then just go, no, I'm going to have a lie down with JSOS.
Yeah, JSOS is sleeping, so we'll go give him a cuddle.
We'll go and have a big cuddle fest.
Yeah.
Who you got for goose nominations?
I tell you what, there's one off the top. I watched the Melbourne-Sydney game afterwards, and they were doing a bit of chat in the room there. Richo was there with a couple of other Darcy or whatever, and Richo turns to Darcy and he goes, "I tell you what, I reckon Melbourne's playing a grand final brand of football."
Oh, do you reckon?
You fucking idiot! They've just won 8 in a row. Of course, they're playing finals brand football.
Oh, what
absolute
goose,
Richo! I love Richo too, but. The way he sort of turned and said, "I reckon I've cottoned onto something that nobody else has. It's Melbourne playing pretty good football." Fucking dog.
What a dickhead. Mitch has nominated Tom Morris, reporting West Coast offering Elliot Yeo for Crips this afternoon.
Did he really?
Yeah. Oh, there's been a few reports, like people going, 7 News have said
Slow news day.
Far out,
do you reckon they put all of these rumours into a hat and they all sit around there and pick one out and go, right, I'm going to go with this one today, boys? What have you got? I've got Cripper going to West Coast. What do you got?
Shits and gigs. Yes. Do you know what? I reckon Tom Morris might get it. We'll go back to that.
Okay, it's a good one.
Yeah, I really like that one because I think that was stupid. George has thrown up Shai Bolton's broken wrist. Absolutely.
I tell you what, he's got after the rooms. He's gone to Daniel. He's gone now, Dan. I've just taken mark of the century.
Yeah.
Don't worry about Jezelenko. Don't worry about Gary Moorcroft.
Oh, that was a ripper, Mark.
That was great, Mark.
I tell you what, that's all he's got this season now with his broken wrist.
I've got a bag full of pingers in the car. Let's just head on into Chapel Street. We'll have a good time, eh?
Is that where they were?
I don't know, somewhere in
Who
the city.
cares? Somewhere in Melbourne.
Yeah, and then one thing led to another. They got into a fight. And he's got a broken wrist. Good on you. Absolutely. Well done, George. Absolute boost there.
Yeah. Good stuff.
Yeah.
Yeah. They were clubbing at Dane Swan's club. Oh, well, there you go. I wonder where they got the pingers from.
I know a guy. Yeah, Dusty Martin was there. Benny Cousins, no.
I'll tell you what, I've got another goose, Frank.
All right.
Your mum.
Yeah, this is a corker.
So our mum lives in a caravan in my front yard. And yesterday was Mother's Day, right? So me and my daughter get her presents together and off we trot to the caravan. There's no one there. Mum's done a disappearance.
9 o'clock on Mother's Day morning, the mother's gone.
They're like, where are you, Mum? It's Mother's Day. Mum's done a disappearing act, so she gets a goose nom.
Yeah, definitely.
Yeah. Any other goose noms have you got?
Yeah, Mum. There's none there. Well,
none there?
I'm gonna go ahead and nominate the Port Adelaide Football Club.
Port Adelaide.
I mean, for fuck's sake, let it go, boys.
Yeah, let the prison bars go.
Just let it go. And look,
hey, listen, if they really want prison bars, they should really hang around Shy Bolton. Rioli.
Get done with pingers and bashing blokes. Nah, yeah. Look, if you get it's, I don't get it.
Yeah.
I don't get it. But what I do get is if a team wanted to roll with navy blue and white besides Carlton, I'd be pretty fucking pissed too. So
yeah. Hello, Mum.
Oh, there she is.
She is. She was out shopping.
She was out shopping. Well, sorry, Mum. Happy Mother's Day, but you got a goose nomination.
So, happy Mother's Day. Look, I really didn't want to do this because Brent Sturman, he's a lovely fella, part of the WA Blues, and we're really sad for you, Brent, if you're watching,
or if you see it.
We're sorry that you lost your fur baby today. And I did warn you earlier in the weekend that you're up for nomination, and I nearly pulled the pin on that, but I thought this could cheer you up. So Brent Sturman's up for Goose nomination because he puts his DP on his hammies without jocks on.
His groins as well, just gets it all in there.
And when he pulls his shorts up, it goes onto his balls. So DP on the balls.
And if anyone's
nomination in anybody's language.
Bernie's. What makes it worse is bless him, he said it's not the first time he's done it.
Slow learner. But he's from Rocco too. But yeah, no, Brent, look, that was too funny not to pull the plug on it, but we're really sorry for your loss, dude.
Yeah, definitely.
I'll tell you another one that's good. The Eddie and Koshy fight. I love it.
What is it? A goose or a gander or
I don't know. Who
whatever.
Cares?
Fuck it. But it's funny.
But it's good shit, and I don't want them to stop fighting.
No,
can everyone keep fucking poking that fire?
Yeah. Very good.
Got any others?
Look, I've got one more. I watch it. I was watching the Sunday Footy show. TJ opened the show as he does if anyone watches a Sunday Footy show. It's quite funny. And he opened it up with a Happy Mother's Day job, and then they went down the panel and everyone TJ just said Happy Mother's Day to his mum. Everyone else on the panel said Happy Mother's Day to their wives as well, being as that they were mothers too. And it got to the end and TJ said, he looked at him all and he said to him, I didn't think we were doing wives, so I better wish my wife a Happy Mother's Day because she's a pretty good mum.
Sacked.
Yeah. He's in the doghouse.
Nick Minute has thrown in Kane Corns. He gets a gong every single week, dude. He's always up for nomination. He has a perpetual nomination, a little bit like Trevor Wallart.
Yeah.
Yeah. And if you're looking closely, you'll find a reason, because each week they give us one. Maybe not so much Trev, but him with his lawyer tonight. He's definitely actually. Trev, you got a nomination.
He's nominating, yeah, because he's gone to talk to lawyers, so he's in.
Look, and the final one for mine is Nunes. For knocking out J-Sox.
Yeah.
Actually, I don't even think that's Goose. I think that's Tool.
Yeah. Yeah. But we don't have Tool of the Week, so
Goose it is.
Goose of the Week it is. So who's winning it?
Who's winning it? Throw us your votes. Who wins Goose of the Week?
For me, it's Shay. I just took Big Mark, ate lots of pingers and punched a bloke. 100% he's getting Goose for mine.
Absolutely. That was an absolute ripper of a mark. And then he's just gone, oh, okay, bye-bye, Susan.
Yeah.
So
I've done my bit.
He's gone, I'm getting the car. I'll just break my wrist and shit, and now I'm out. All right. Any other? I think he gets Goose.
Yeah. I got it.
All right, Shay Bolton. Goal of the year.
Goose of the Week.
Goose of the Week.
Pingers for days.
Pingers for days.
Good stuff. I don't even know if he takes drugs, but fuck it, it's a good laugh.
Come fight me. Oh, no, you can't. You got a broken wrist.
That's why you're in this position.
Oh, next minute. We forgot about Tom Morris. Actually, you're quite right. Bring the Goose. He gets one as well for the stupid rumours that piss off. You get Goose. That Crip has been offered a contract at
Wet Toast.
I can't even say it. It's so stupid.
You haven't said much without fucking it up. So,
well, look, I tell you what, though, guys. One of the things I will say is it has been good to laugh today, because there hasn't been much to laugh about.
Yeah.
And I think we'll wrap this up shortly. One of the things I wanted to mention was that Frank and I are going to head down the Sporting Globe in Rockingham. If you're from WA and want to join us, come along. Well, I should mention next Sunday to watch Melbourne. How do we beat Melbourne?
Win, kick more goals. Yep, it's the best way to do
and
it.
play 4 quarters. Look, I think what we saw in those first 3 quarters, we've got absolutely every chance of taking it up to Melbourne.
You just got to play out the whole 4.
We've got to play out the whole 4. Yep. We can't have our best midfielders sitting on the bench for too long.
Yep.
And what else?
Backline's got to be strong again.
Yep.
Because the forward line, Melbourne's forward line's on fire.
Yep.
Melbourne's defence is also on fire with Stephen Drinky Poos May. So, but Big H will kick another bag. Eddie Betts will get under his feet, kick another bag. So, yeah, midfield will stand up.
Yeah, you're quite right, George. Tough 4 weeks ahead. And I think absolutely why we let these injured fellas have a rest.
Yeah. Because
I don't think anything's going to change unless we give someone else a go that might give it a good red-up go.
Yeah. Yep.
Next minute. Love the show, guys.
Thanks, mate.
Love the passion, laughs, and go Blue Baggers. Thank you very much. Next minute. Wish I knew your proper name, but that's a great name, by the way.
Next minute.
Look, also, if you're keen, like I mentioned, if you're keen to join Frank and I at a proper bar next Sunday, we'll be up the Rockingham Sporting Globe. Join us up. Go and follow the Blue Baggers WA page. We'll put an event on there. And in the meantime, go Blues.
Carna Blues.
See you later, fellas. Thanks for joining us.
See ya.